powered by ZUK, and this is the official Indian retail unit that we have. And the most aggressive thing about this device is that it runs on the Snapdragon 820 chipset, but the pricing is actually very aggressive. As you can see, let me zoom in. The price quoted on the box is 20,000, and this is for the 4GB RAM model that comes with 64GB of storage. There is also one more variant that comes with 3GB of RAM, and that's priced for 18,000 and will be sold in India via Amazon.in. Again, I'll have the link for Amazon in the show notes so you can check that out. And regarding the SAR on the head, it is 0.71, and for body it's 1.49. So let's quickly just open this up now, and we have the handset itself. I had opened it earlier to make sure everything works, so let me just take that out. We have the handset. Let's look at this later on. And underneath this, if you look, we have the SIM ejector tool, some paperwork that you will have. It says the quick start guide and stuff. It's in black and white. Again, it's a dual SIM, guys, but again, no micro SD card support on this one, so it gives you an idea about the ports and stuff. So that's what it is. And it also gives info regarding warranty. It says on handset it's 1 year, and on charger it's 6 months. So that's what you get. So let's keep this thing to the side. And we also have the USB cable. Again, it's USB to USB Type-C. It has the new Type-C connector, and this is the charger. And the interesting thing about the charger is that they are supplying us a normal charger that gives an output of 5 volts at 2 amps, but this device does support Qualcomm Quick Charging 3. But to take advantage of that, you have to buy a separate Quick Charge 3. So that's what you get in the box. So let me keep these things to the side. So this is the handset itself, and you'll notice that it comes with this cover that is pre-applied. We can't take this out, so they are bundling this cover in the box. So it just comes out, protects the back, because again the back also has a glass. And this is the black color one. There is also a white color one, but I'll just call it jet black because that's the new cool, I would say, by Apple. So anyways, this is the black color one. This would be sort of a fingerprint magnet, but the white fingerprint doesn't show. But the black actually looks a lot more cooler, I would say, in my frank opinion. So this is the handset itself. And let me give you a physical overview. On the top, we have nothing. And on here, we have the volume rockers and the power on off button. They seem to be made up of plastic. Lenovo says that the frame is made up of fiber. And this is the SIM slot. Again, dual nano SIM, no micro SD card support. Opening for the speaker, the USB Type-C slot, main microphone, and the headphone jack. And again, on this end, we have nothing. On the back, if you see, we have the 13 megapixel rear facing camera with LED flash, and also looks like a secondary noise cancellation microphone. And we just have the Lenovo branding. And the front facing camera is supposed to be 8 megapixel shooter. So let me quickly just try to boot this up. And by the time it boots up and I set it up, let me give you a configuration overview. This Lenovo Z2 Plus is powered by the Snapdragon 820 chipset, which is a quad-core processor based on the Cryo architecture. It has the Adreno 530 GPU. This one has a 5-inch 1080p IPS grade screen. It comes in two RAM models, 3GB and 4GB. It's a dual SIM device with 4G and VoLTE support. Moving to the camera, the rear facing camera is a 13 megapixel and the front facing camera is a 8 megapixel shooter. And it comes with a 3500 milliamp hour battery, and fingerprint functionality is also there. So again, guys, I've just set up this device, and as you can see, by default, this launcher looks like Google launcher. So this is the default that you get. It comes with this Google launcher, but underneath it runs its own skin. But Lenovo in India are using this Google launcher by default. So it looks like this. But if you go to the settings, you see this. It's their own custom UI that you get. And if you go to about the device, as you can see, this is the 4GB RAM model that we have, and it's running on the Android version 6.0.1. So Marshmallow out of the box that we are getting on this one. Let's just go back and look at the storage that we get on this one. Again, regarding this button is actually very different on this one. This is a multi-purpose button, so I'll talk about that later. But first, let's look at the storage. And if you go to the storage, out of that 64 gigabytes, you get 52.8 gigabytes of space that is available to you. Again, it comes in two models, 3 gigabyte RAM and 4 gigabyte RAM. And again, if you notice, for quick settings, you can just pull it from here. I had kept the brightness at low, but it has all the basic sensors like auto brightness, whatever you expect. So again, you can disable these virtual buttons if you want. That option is there, because this button, the button that we have, this one, is it has a multi-purpose button. For example, let me actually open some apps. For example, we open this and you can swipe up, and let's open the Play Store. It'll ask me to log in. I didn't, but we can just swipe between the apps by just moving around to this one. This is it says the U touch on the home button, and it's a capacitive type. If you just tap it also, it takes you back to home. So it has a lot of functionality. Again, you can customize that. The beauty is that you can customize a lot of options. Let's go to the settings again, and you have this dedicated menu over here. Let's go to back. You have a U touch, as you can see, and you can use on-screen buttons or disable them. See, I have disabled it. So you have an option of enabling this buttons or not, and you can customize this physical home button. As you can see, if you press home twice, it says it goes to the history. So for multitasking, so let's go back over here. You can actually change this. As you can see, if you want the notification center to come, if you want to put your phone to sleep, you can do that. So that option is there. You can slide left or right, as I've told you earlier, to switch between the apps. So that functionality is also there. So and a long press, again, you can customize. For example, let's say for a long press, let's say we want notification center. So again, you can customize this. So long touch to home, you can also customize and even open an app. For example, let's say you want a camera. So this is a multi-purpose button that you are getting on this one. And again, you have the choice of having what do you say, these virtual button or use this physical button. Even if you enable this virtual button, the physical button works. So that is there. Now, talking about bloatware, I don't see a lot of bloatware pre-installed, so that's a nice thing. There is something, this is called 9 apps and Amazon Store and Hasselhoff and Hot Today. So there is a little bit of bloatware, and the share it is again Lenovo app that you get. UHealth is for built-in tracking. It has a pedometer and stuff in this, so if you just set it up, it'll track your steps and whatnot. That is the UHealth app that we have. So that's what you get. Let me also quickly set up the fingerprint scanner and then we'll test it out. So yeah, it says it's done. So fingerprint is added. Let's try to use that. So it's in standby, and as you can see, the fingerprint scanner works. Let's try it in this orientation. It works. So again, this button is a multifunction button with the fingerprint scanner on this one. Now let's also quickly look at the camera. It's a 13 megapixel rear facing camera. So let's try to fire up the camera app. So this is the camera app that we're getting. We have the tap to focus, and the shutter speed is really fast. If you noticed, let me take one more snap. I just took these snaps. I think so rotation is not enabled. And let's go to the settings, lock screen. Oops, I didn't set this up. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of auto rated was disabled. Yes, so you can actually customize these shortcuts also if you want. So that option is there. So let's see. Again, this snap came out to be pretty decent, I would say, but again, the lighting is good. One thing to note is that this phone does not have optical image stabilization. So as you can see, if you zoom in, this was slightly blurry, little bit on the blurry side, so you have to be careful. It just has electronic image stabilization, but in terms of video, it can shoot video up to 4K. So I will definitely test out the camera a lot more, and I can also compare it